morning, good afternoon, guys. Welcome back for another Geek Tavern. As always, it's me, Sean, and I'm joined with Aaron.
Hey.
And Mike.
Yo.
And yeah, so I've been watching a little bit. Aaron and I sat down and watched all three of the Godfather films in the interim of...
couple days.
Yeah, during our quarantine and whatnot.
3 hours a day.
I think last time we mentioned that, I told you I've never seen them.
Yeah.
So
Sean had never seen them either.
Right.
I was the only one who had seen the trilogy.
Yeah, it's my first time watching them, and yeah, I get it. I get the hype now.
Well, at least with the first two.
Yeah.
You get it with the first two.
And I think the only other thing that I watched was that movie we watched on Netflix the other day.
And Trolls.
Oh, yeah, and Trolls. We watched Trolls, too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we watched A Stupid and Futile Gesture, the life story of Doug Kenny, who famously wrote Caddyshack, Animal House, and started National Lampoon magazine.
Going back to Trolls, I think that method is like a pretty feasible way of watching movies. I thought that it was a good time.
I know you and I have been saying it for years. Like, when is it going to come down to where people can... Like, you can release a movie in the theater. Mm-hmm. There's no problem with because, like, people like us who enjoy
it would just be another avenue.
Yes, but the people who really don't want to go to a theater, sit in a theater and listen to babies cry...
Or honestly can't go.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a much better place to be, to sit in your living room and, hell... Like, I'll pay $20 to just sit and enjoy the movie and
you just get some friends
bed or something, you know?
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that.
I also watched I've been keeping up with Star Wars, The Clone Wars, and the past 2 episodes have been really good. So I recommend watching those ones if you guys haven't watched them yet.
I have to.
I haven't watched them since. Yeah, I haven't watched them since those first 2 that we watched and mentioned on the show.
Well, I think I got to episode 4 and then I lost interest because of the Martez sisters.
Yeah, it was really bad.
It's just like Ahsoka's whole story with that. I was like, I watched I think 5 minutes of it and I was like, I'm bored out of my mind. And I mean, they're short episodes, so it's not like I'm sitting there like really trying to get into it. It just bored me.
So, kind of side tangent, because I didn't ask you guys. Did you guys see the trailer for the behind the scenes show for Mandalorian?
I heard about it. I didn't see the trailer yet.
The trailer, I'm super pumped for it. I mean, obviously there's no spoilers because it's just like a documentary behind the scenes kind of thing, but they're gonna have all of the directors on a round table.
Oh, cool!
Discussing it.
I like when they do round tables like that.
And then they're also going to have the cast at some parts. But it's actually an 8-episode thing. So it's just as long. I think they're going to go episode by episode.
Yeah.
And probably talk about each episode.
Is that on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Something fun that I've noticed.
Comes out May the 4th.
Oh, good.
The same day as the last episode of Clone Wars. Yeah. They moved it. Because this last episode would have been on May 8th, which would have been Friday.
Oh, okay.
So they changed the release date to May the 4th.
I mean, makes sense.
Because it's the only thing we have to live for anymore, so what the hell is the difference?
Yeah.
I was going to piggyback on something that you said, and I can't remember what it was now. Oh, I've noticed something that at least Legendary Pictures did it, and I don't know if other movie companies are doing it, but they're doing watch-alongs with people at home.
Oh, right, yeah.
So, Legendary did the Godzilla Monsterverse, and they've been having Gareth Edwards, he watched along and answered questions through Twitter.
Taika Waititi did that with Ragnarok. And I think Marvel people are doing it.
Mark Ruffalo did it too.
Yeah, I think some Marvel people are doing it.
The Taika Waititi one would be cool.
Apparently they got really bored and started making food and stuff during it. There's the cameras on them and they're in the kitchen just fiddling with stuff.
Were they on Jon Favreau's show?
Maybe. But I find that kind of cool because it's kind of a I don't know, it's more of a personal experience. For people to you're watching the movie while the director's watching it, and if you're lucky, you can answer a question for you.
I mean, there's a big, that's
huge. I mean, I don't know why you don't do that anyway.
yeah, people do that. I mean, that's basically what commentary was originally, but now a lot of people do it in podcast form. Mm-hmm. Collider used to do when Collider was Collider. They used to do watch-alongs, and they just chit-chat about what's happening or whatever. I've never really partaked in them because I'm like, eh.
Yeah.
But I get it. Like, I get it. But.
And I mean, like, there was so much stuff that, I mean, you could spend hours watching the special features for, like, one of the Godzilla movies or something.
Yeah.
But, like, Mike Doherty released, like, new information during the watch-along.
Oh.
That Queen Muto at the end, that one that, like, walked up and bowed to Godzilla. She's apparently much different because he, like, revealed her character model during the watch-along. And she has, like, a crown instead of, like, the point that the normal Mutos have. She has, like, 2 more points. And they said, like, all the spines on her back look like a crown, so they called her the Queen.
Oh.
And she's, like, I guess, like, a couple thousand years older than the other Mutos. And her nickname that they gave the Titan is Barb, because of her pointy appearance. And I was like, that's cool. I was like, that's a tidbit of information that we didn't have before.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of lame just having another Muto whenever
if I show you the character model, she looks a lot cooler.
Okay.
But I've had Amazon Prime for like 4 years now. And I kept getting letters in the mail from Prime Video, and they're like, "You're not using your Prime Video. Like, you can use this." And they sent like
paper mail.
Yeah, they would send me like paper mail that had like all the new release stuff like on it, and they're like, "Remember, you can watch this stuff for free."
What a waste of
and
resources.
Yeah. But I'm like looking through it, and I'm like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "I'll get around to it." So this past week and the week before, I got on there, only to find that like a shit ton of movies that I haven't seen and have wanted to see are all free on there. So I watched all the Star Trek movies that I hadn't seen, which was Insurrection, The Search for Spock, and The Final Frontier. So I'm all caught up on Star Trek. I watched Rambo Last Blood for free, which is very good. I mean, it's not as good as the classic Rambo flicks.
Oh, yeah.
But it's in the same vein, and it works. And I actually just watched Sam Raimi's Spider-Man again the other night. Free with ads, but I didn't really care.
Yeah. It's on Hulu as well.
Oh, yeah.
Or no, it's part of the stars that I got, I guess. Yeah.
But yeah, I decided to watch that, and I thought it was I think it's still, aside from some corny moments, it still holds up.
I mean, some of the CG is just, doesn't hold up when he's swinging and stuff.
Oh, yeah. But then you gotta think it was 2002. So, yeah. I mean, the CG in Jurassic Park wasn't even 10 years old at that point.
Right.
Or whenever he's supposed to be swinging and it's just Mary Jane holding on to
a dummy.
Yeah.
And her hair
I never
going
noticed that.
direction.
Was that you, Aaron, that shared that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
never noticed that.
Direction.
I'll never unsee that.
Actually, when I watched it, I completely forgot about it. But, like, the whole build-up in the beginning, when he lets the robber pass, and he kills Uncle Ben, and then he has to go hunt him down. Like, that's a great build-up. Like, I watched
the whole wrestling scene. Just as a fan of pro wrestling, like every time I see that scene, I'm like, yes, because that's like the last thing that Macho Man really did. Like in front, for public whatever. He just kind of went into hiding for basically until he passed it
was an accident.
Yeah, he had an accident. Yeah, so every time I see that scene, I'm just like, this is the last remnants of Macho Man.
Yeah.
Piggybacking, I guess, off you, I recently also watched Sam Raimi Spider-Man. One thing we wanted to bring up and just kind of riff on was this is the 20th anniversary of basically I'm obviously there's other comic book movies before this, but this is really
good.
Yeah. I mean, basically 89 Batman's the best. And the first two Supermans were pretty good, I think. But it's the 20th year anniversary of the first X-Men.
Bringing superhero movies into the modern age, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, you look at Batman and Superman, they're great movies. I'm especially a fan of Tim Burton's Batman and Batman Returns. Or two of my favorite
See,
Batman
how I look at it is, like, Batman and Superman are so big and so widely known.
Yeah, they were prolific.
Like, they're in their own category.
Yeah.
Like, so, like, when I mean, I don't remember when they announced X-Men because, like, even I wasn't into it, you know.
Maybe 97
Yeah.
is when I think they said they were doing X-Men.
Um,
Because it was a long process.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't remember when they did it and all that stuff, but I remember hearing about it. I'm like, well, I used to watch the cartoon,
Yeah, the TV
X-Men.
show.
So I mean, that was my very basic knowledge. So I don't think it was until X2 that I actually started watching them.
There were a lot of Marvel comic book movies that came out before X-Men.
Oh yeah, those were like really bad.
Oh god, that
awful.
Captain America.
They're like
that Captain America with Matt Salinger and Ned Beatty.
I got both of them on DVD.
Terrible. I think I watched like the first 10 minutes of that movie and I was like, what is this?
I don't remember if Hunter. We used to watch movies at our previous workplace because it was a group home. We had lots of downtime, so we used to just watch movies. And I grabbed that at Walmart one day.
Oh,
I'm like, let's try this.
That one is literally terrible.
Yeah, it's almost unwatchable.
And they greenlit that.
Yeah,
It's like the crazy thing. It's like, who wrote out that script? Who like?
And there's a second one.
It was Marvel Entertainment, so I'm like, okay, Stan or somebody gave this the green light. Who sat down and watched this and went?
I think his name is like on it. Honestly.
No, it is. Yeah. Like I mean, Stan just I feel like Stan kind of just sat at a chair for a while, and they put like stuff in front of his face, and he just stamped like an approval thing on it the entire time. But there was that one, and then there was that 1990, was it 94 Fantastic Four movie that they were going to come out with that they just canceled.
You can
because
find
it was so bad.
You can find it on YouTube, I think.
But I mean, like, how do you go from Captain America 1990, which got off?
That's a year after Tim Burton's Batman.
Yeah, Captain America 1990 god awful. Then you have the Fantastic Four, which just got canceled altogether. And then 3 years later, somehow you get your shit together and you can do X-Men, right?
Right, yeah. I mean, granted, getting into the movie a little bit, I mean, I don't think it's not towards the top of the list of X-Men.
No, but it was on track.
But at the time,
to build something better.
It was good.
It was a stepping stone.
It was good enough to, warrant a second one. And
a third. And some prequels.
Yeah.
And some sequels. that just get really confusing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I think that Spider-Man might be more responsible for the modern state of superhero movies that we have.
I think so too.
Over X-Men.
And
I think X-Men showed that you can have more than one character.
I think that X-Men was like, oh, this is doable. And then Sam Raimi came in and he's like, well, this is how it gets popular. I mean, Spider-Man's probably the most popular superhero in general. So that's going to bring people in to see it anyway. But those are great movies.
I would say it was Superman, Batman, Spider-Man.
And because X-Men, while X-Men are great characters and they had great casting, when you think back on it, when we were kids and X-Men came out and we watched it, it was just kind of dark and seemed more geared towards adults.
Yeah.
I remember watching X-Men and I was like...
It's definitely not nearly as flashy as Spider-Man.
Yeah, I was like, I like this, but it's just it's not super fun. Whereas Spider-Man, it's colorful, it's bright.
That's why I didn't really
start watching. He's a wisecracking superhero. That's what is popular.
Yeah.
And what has the MCU been? Bright, colorful, wisecracking, Mostly. It's family friendly. Not that I'm saying the X-Men movies are bad, but they're more dark and more adult oriented versus where Spider-Man, while it has its dark moments, is still very geared towards wanting to have parents bring their kids in to watch his movie.
I mean, just for an example.
And sell toys.
Yeah. Just for example, back then, Spider-Man was my favorite comic book character.
He's still one of mine.
I mean, he still is one of mine. But, that was it. There was nothing else. I didn't even like Batman back then. And Batman, pretty much after The Dark Knight, Batman became my favorite comic book hero. But yeah, I didn't even get into X-Men until I matured more and got older. And
then I think started
Logan,
to like them more.
Logan or Wolverine became one of my favorite characters.
Yeah. I remember when I was younger, my aunt used to babysit me and my sister. and if she came to babysit us, she'd take us into town and like get us like McDonald's or something. And she's like, "Where do you want to go?" And I was like, "I want to buy Frosted Flakes." And she's like, "Why do you want Frosted Flakes?" Because they had. Do you remember in the when Spider-Man came out, the first one? They had those water shooters in like the Kellogg's that hooked onto your wrist. Yeah. I wanted one of those so bad, so we went into Kmart and found one of the boxes that had it inside. And I got home and dumped the whole box out.
Kmart had Oh yeah, they did. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember.
Not a lot. It was a small section. Right. But, and I dumped that whole box out and got that water shooter. I mean, I loved Spider-Man movies. Like when they came out, I had... Like, when Spider-Man 3 came out, they released all, like, the figures from, like, every, like, Venom, Carnage, all the different figures from either the comics or the movies. I had all of them. Yeah. Like, Spider-Man is just, it's one of those quintessential pieces in, like, Marvel or superhero movies in general.
Yeah, I mean, even...
But X-Men did start the path of... better Marvel movies in order to build something greater.
Well, hell, even more evidence to this is that Sam Raimi's still making superhero movies. Where's Bryan Singer?
Yeah.
Where's Bryan Singer making movies?
Well, we don't want to talk about Bryan Singer.
But Sam Raimi's officially signed on to do the second Doctor Strange movie. And that is supposed to be a horror movie. And now I am extremely excited to see that movie.
Me too.
Because not only does Sam Raimi do superheroes well, he does horror incredibly well. And the fusion between the two, I think, is like where he excels as a filmmaker.
Which, like, you think, even though it wasn't... Or actually, no, I'll take that back. Spider-Man 2 is a great... indication of his horror superhero mix. Yeah, when they're operating on Doc Ock and trying to take the arms off, that's scary as hell. And I love that.
That whole hospital scene is like it's super great. Horror.
Yeah.
And
he's just laying there motionless and like the arms are just killing people.
Yeah.
Like,
I love that. And then the way that he shoots things like the dude will have like a tray or something and you'll see the reflection of the thing. Like you see the light and it just comes at him and like throws him against the wall. I mean, that stuff is awesome.
Yeah.
But I was actually just thinking of a quote from... So like we grew up with those types of superhero movies. You know, the old school, as we would call them now, because they're getting close to being, some of them are 20 years old. Yeah.
That's why we're talking about this.
But Alexander Pierce in Captain America the Winter Soldier says sometimes building a new world means tearing the old one down.
Yeah.
And I mean, look what it did.
Yeah.
The old superhero movies paved the way to these huge blockbuster Avengers Endgame, never will be topped type of movies.
It literally won't be topped ever.
No, because movie theaters will never open again.
Yeah, the final blockbuster.
Yeah, we go from the biggest movie event ever
to no movie events.
1 year later, nothing.
You know, I saw recently 2019 was good. I just didn't think it was going to be the end of everything.
I saw recently on Twitter where Kevin Feige was like, we're approaching a year now of the anniversary. And he posted something, like some scene, and he's like, let's just remember what it felt like sitting in the movie theater. And it's like,
Well, I kept watching, I don't know if it's the one that he shared, but I kept watching the one where Cap
gets the
hammer. And like, it's like the first crowd reaction.
Everybody's going nuts.
Yeah. It gives me goosebumps just thinking about it.
Oh, it was amazing. I really... It's one of those movie theater experiences that you'll just remember for the rest of your life.
Yeah. There's not many that I've had, but that's
one of them.
Yeah.
Star Wars was one of them for me. Like
Force Awakens for me.
Well, Force Awakens, Last Jedi was an experience. Rise of Skywalker, But
nothing really happened.
The prequels, the prequels. I love the prequels.
Yeah.
I can remember.
I mean, that's one thing I won't forget. I think I told the story, but. You know, the episode 1, that was really my first Star Wars experience. And my dad took us to the drive-in. Did I tell that story?
Yeah, I think you mentioned it once before.
Yeah, I don't know if it was on air or not, but anyway, he took us to the drive-in to see episode 1. And at the time, his car didn't have a radio. Because he thought that, like, they gave you, like, I guess they used to
like
give you a radio.
Yeah, that's how they used to do it.
Yeah.
But they'd give you one.
But, yeah, so they didn't end up giving us one. They had speakers on the side of, like, the food building. Concession stand. That's and so we had to park like close to that, and that's how we heard it.
I can't wait until
their business is probably booming. I mean, I don't know if they're doing drive-ins.
Oh yeah,
right
are
now.
they even
the Moonlight's one of the last ones in the U.S.
Yeah,
it's like one of like 10 in the U.S.
Yeah, it managed to get funding to get a digital projector that on the scale. But
you're talking about the 322 one? Or?
Yeah,
yeah, okay.
But yeah, you'd think that they'd be like raking in cash right now. Yeah. I mean, I guess there's not really.
Are they even
movies.
like releasing movies to them?
I don't even know if they're open yet.
Yeah,
because they usually don't open until like summer.
They did they had some where it was like Christmas movies
yeah.
like like I don't know why you'd go in the middle of when we live in a very cold area.
Yeah,
I don't know why you'd go out and sit in your car for 3 hours.
Yeah, you're right, because it could be April 20th and sun could be out and it could be 60 degrees and then it starts snowing in 20 minutes and then it comes back out at 60 degrees and drops back down to 30. I can't wait. I can't wait for a future when I'm walking my kids through the post-apocalyptic wasteland and I tell them about movie theaters. We all used to gather in a place to watch a movie.
Back in our day, we couldn't just rent it at home.
and then my kid's going to say to me, "What's a movie?" And then I'm going to have to tell them a whole other story.
Is there some news about that High Council Star Wars thing? I thought I heard.
I haven't heard nothing.
High Republic?
High Republic, whatever the fuck it's going to be. Yeah, new High Republic.
I mean, they haven't even actually announced like a show or a movie.
Okay. No, just books.
Just books right now.
Far.
Okay.
I mean,
there's
speculation
and books.
Speculation is that it's going to lead.
Well, somebody just got the Russian doll director. She just got signed on to do a series of Star Wars. So
wasn't there?
Nobody knows what it is. I'm guessing High Republic.
There was I forget the actress. Somebody was announced for a Star Wars show, but it supposedly is like an alternate timeline.
Oh, cool.
I mean, it
is it cool?
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought Rise of Skywalker was going to be cool too.
Oh, it depends on what kind of alternate timeline.
Yeah, I mean details,
because I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, but basically this is like kind of what happened in the most recent episode of the Clone Wars.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
is
care.
Darth Maul. We know that Darth Maul was ruling Mandalore from the shadows.
Okay.
So basically, Bo-Katan gets Ahsoka, and she's going to kind of like capture him.
Mm-hmm.
But Darth Maul like sensed through the dark side what was actually happening, how Sidious was pulling the strings and everything. So he orchestrated a war on Mandalore to lure Obi-Wan and Anakin to Mandalore so that him and Obi-Wan could team up and kill Anakin so that Darth Sidious wouldn't be able to have Darth Vader.
What?
Yeah, that's what he wanted to do. But they sent Ahsoka instead.
Oh my god.
So if the alternate timeline was Obi-Wan and Darth Maul meeting on Mandalore with Anakin Skywalker and teaming up and killing him, that would be pretty cool.
Wow, so like Darth Maul kind of like turns and becomes half a good guy?
Well, I mean, obviously it didn't amount to anything because we know what happened in Rebels, but he did swallow his pride and was going to fight alongside Obi-Wan to kill Anakin if he managed to lure them there. Yeah.
Because, like, he would have prevented the entire Empire.
Yeah.
Wow.
Holy crap.
Give me that alternate timeline.
Yeah,
I want that now.
Because I was watching it this morning, actually, and he said that. I was like, oh my god, that is so cool. I would love to see something like that.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so anyway, if done right, this alternate timeline show could be very interesting. You know, if it is where Anakin never even maybe has kids, so it's like a future...
Oh, without
where something else happens, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe some other dark Sith Lord, you know?
Snoke.
Yeah, actual Snoke.
Actual Snoke.
All right, well.
Real live Snoke.
Yeah, sorry I don't have, like, more information. I just remember reading that.
Oh, it's pretty exciting either way.
Man, I'm just hype about that episode now. I can't wait to watch it.
We have anything else to talk about? Or can we jump right in?
I think we can jump right in because I can't think of anything.
All right. Well, we had a recommendation last week from Mike.
Yeah.
I don't know what year the movie was, so you can take it away.
2007.
2007, The Condemned, starring Stone Cold Steve Austin.
What?
All right.
That's his catchphrase.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know where to start. Yeah, this used to be one of my favorite movies to watch. That's
Now you said used to. Are you gonna tell us something?
what I mean, that's part of my journey for this. You know, because I mean, I want to try to pick things that you guys maybe haven't seen or only seen parts or whatever. But also for like me to, you know, watch these things again because, like I said, I haven't watched this probably, I don't know, since 2010 or so. Like it's been forever. So my experience watching it again is there is I think a lot of cool shots and sequences in this movie, and it's really cool now knowing a lot of actors and stuff. Like that was cool. Like knowing now that it's Manu Bennett as one of the side characters.
Who actually probably was a rather unknown at that point.
Oh, yeah, he's totally unknown, I think. I mean, the only thing that I know him from even is Arrow.
As Deathstroke.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that ending, we'll get there. It just stops. But, yeah, I mean, I don't think I hold this movie as high as I probably used to, just because, you know, Stone Cold was a big part of my childhood. I mean, that when I started watching wrestling, he was it.
Right.
You know? So, I mean, I kind of had the Stone Cold fan blinders on, I would say. There's actually way better Stone Cold movies.
Yeah, that was.
But this is his first movie, so
I thought that he was okay. Honestly,
some of his lines,
some of them were bad, but
yeah.
I thought that he didn't really talk much.
Not a lot, no.
Yeah, it's kind of like Arnold in the Terminator.
Wait, no, this wasn't his first movie. Longest Yard was his first movie, which was a year or two before
Was it before this?
Yep. He was a security guard. Actually, his acting was better in The Longest Yard than it was in this.
All right. Yeah. I thought it was like slightly after this myself.
I'm pretty sure it came out before.
You might be right.
Because I remember watching it in like 5th grade.
I watched it. I saw that movie in theaters, so I couldn't tell you the year, but
because 5th grade maybe it was 6th grade.
So
it was 2006.
So The Rock had a better movie career than Stone Cold already at this point.
Scorpion King.
Yeah.
What did he do around this point? I don't remember. Anyway.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot he was in The Longest Yard, wasn't he? That's a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of Adam Sandler's good
A
movies.
remake.
But,
yeah, so some of his lines, it's still funny to me just because I think it's so weird.
It is extremely early 2000s stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Some of it was like, really? They're saying this?
See, like, there's something... It's not even charm about early 2000s movies where somebody who wrote this takes something that they heard somebody else say and then they go, yeah, that's it. And then they write it down and then you put it in a movie and everyone's like, the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like when they're like, we got subscribers. It's like, no, you got people to pay-per-view your thing.
Right.
They're not subscribed to you.
So one of the lines is, should we talk about the premise of the movie before we get into
I guess
stuff
we
like
should.
this?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's this. I guess he's a TV director. Is what he originally was.
He's a millionaire.
Yeah.
Or
maybe he's just rich. Maybe he's not even a director.
Yeah, he's just a fucking evil rich person that wants to find a way to waste all his money.
Take fights, but maximize it to its full potential.
Yeah, basically that's it.
Yeah.
So anyway, he has this in his mind great idea to produce this show where you take 10 convicts and you throw them on an island and one lives, 9 dies. That's the tagline for the movie. Yeah, so it starts out with all these people being gathered.
They only have 30 hours too, which in my mind is way too little of time, right? Like that's what I
mean, the countdown, the 30-hour countdown was after they collected all of them.
Yeah, but like during this, so the event is like a obviously the pay-per-view and you watch it, intention is going to be it's 30 hours long.
Yeah.
Because they have the set-in dead timer where at the end of 30 hours their ankle bracelets explode.
Yeah.
So they created this entire production with the intent of it only being 30 hours long. You'd think that they'd want it to be longer than that.
Yeah, so like here,
or if anything, it's going to be shorter because you would think that when you drop them on the island, they're just going to go after each other right away.
Yeah.
See, that's my thing. Or like I said during the viewing, most of these guys are gonna stick together to go, hey, let's kill the asshole who put us in here.
Yeah.
So they're gonna either gang up and go find them and overrun their little like.
Which is
setup.
another actually stupid part. Is why would
you fly them right over your compound?
Well, that, and why would you even be on the same island?
Exactly. Like drop them somewhere else.
Be on a boat?
A boat around the island.
Yeah.
What are they going to do, swim to you?
Yeah,
right.
That would have been a much smarter idea.
And
but
also,
then,
the other thing, if they decide to wait
half the
out,
movie won't happen if that
I
happens.
said, we wouldn't have a movie if
But
that happened, but
also,
it makes more sense.
if they decide to wait it out, or like half of them get lost and they can't kill each other,
Yeah.
and after 30 hours,
Yeah.
they all die. Nobody gets set free.
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, that's probably why he felt like he needed to manipulate it, which we'll get to. But, yeah, so there's a lot of questionable,
One thing I thought
story.
was funny was them calling the contestants, I guess you'll say, headliners. That was like so obviously WWE influenced, but I thought it kind of also showed how fucking horrible these people are, that they're not even like they're treating them like they're actors or you know professionals or whatever. It's like, oh, one of our headliners got murdered. We have to find another one. I was like, you fucking psychopaths.
Yeah. I don't know.
It is very racist. I need an Arab.
Yeah.
I don't want to go too deep and bash Vince McMahon, the owner of WWE, but there's a lot of parallels between this guy and Vince McMahon. Like, I'm pretty sure Vince McMahon's not a nice guy. But
I don't know. I would tend to disagree. I like Vince.
he literally
Watching interviews with him, I feel like he has to put on that tough guy.
I don't know. I think that
type
he
of thing.
is.
I mean, one thing, that show that I told you guys about, Dark Side of the Ring, Jimmy Snuka, who was kind of up for murder at one point, which people still think he did it, but that's a side story. In his book, he says that Vince McMahon came to the police station with a briefcase, supposedly, I mean, full of money or something, and basically got him off for murder. So, nice guy.
Yeah, what a nice guy.
Psychopath, probably.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a lot of parallels if you watch this movie and you know Vince McMahon. A big thing being the whole streaming thing. Like, Vince had the whole WWE network in his mind since the early 90s.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good foresight.
Yeah.
The internet was in its early stages and they're already, like, streaming this.
Yeah.
Well, that was there.
That's a big parallel in this movie, too. Because he really wanted to do it at that point, like around this time. But it didn't get off the ground until, 2013? Whatever year it was. Anyway, go ahead.
I thought, this is just like a little thing. I thought it was funny how the guy was like, we got to get all of our ads on all these gambling and porn sites and things like that. I thought that was funny.
Sex, guns.
Which, by the way, what's the point of putting it on a porn site? Who's looking at the ads anyway?
I mean, I don't think anybody's looking at the pop-up ads anywhere, but
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny.
I mean, back then, there was ad blocker back then, right? I think.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
It's a little bit before I had a computer.
Yeah.
Which is also funny because the woman had to go to the bar to use the computer to see...
Which is funny. Like, what is this, a public library? Like, what are you using? What are you using a computer in a bar for?
You know what? Hold on. Plot hole. How are they streaming it to their TV? Because that was not a thing.
Yeah, HDMI thing.
Yeah, that was not a thing.
Yeah.
I know that.
No. They had the red, white, and yellow.
Oh yeah, the components.
The AV components.
But did any computer actually hook up to a TV though?
I have no idea.
Good question.
DVD players at the time. Well, VHS was probably still being made at the time, but they didn't have a internet connection.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, like
anyway.
that's probably like. Well, I mean, with most of these WWE movies, not to shit on anybody or anything, but
none of them are good.
There's nobody sitting there going, that doesn't make sense. Like, there's no continuity person or like just sitting watching it going, why'd they do that? That makes no sense. Like, they probably watched it and they're just like, whoa, they're watching it on the TV now, and the director's like, and then they just went back to watching it.
This is probably the biggest.
I mean, I never noticed that until now thinking about it. So.
This is probably the biggest movie that the WWE has made. I mean,
this was their first one.
Yeah. Was it their first one?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like one of the only ones I've ever seen or heard of. I know that there's a couple other Stone Cold ones I've seen.
I watched a movie, and Mike, you might remember it. I have no idea what it was called.
Okay.
But with my ex, we rented it from Redbox. It was a WWE movie. It had, what's her name from Prometheus? Numi Rapace? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Terrence Howard, and somebody else had Colin Farrell. And this was a WWE movie. So I'm sorry, this is not the biggest. They had 3 big names in that movie.
I mean, I know they have their hands. I mean, they kind of.
Movie sucked though. I'm just letting you know, it sucked.
I'll have to. When I'm not the one talking, I'll have to look up and just bring up the list of movies because I have no idea.
Oh, they have a ton. The ones with Kane, they're like horror, but they're WWE based. Yeah. WWE's like Blumhouse. They'll literally make anything.
Yeah.
If you walked up to Vince McMahon and slap a screenplay on his desk, he'll be like, he's like J. Jonah Jameson. He's like, good, print it, and then just ships it off to Triple H, and then he does whatever with it.
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
I like the one part where you had mentioned that they need an Arab guy so that the people of the Middle East will have somebody to root for, and who
there has internet?
Well, not even that. The whole thing that was confusing to me. So basically, the point is one of them survives, and they release that criminal back into the world or whatever. I guess was the thought. If he comes from your area, why are you going to be rooting for him to win? You're going to be rooting for everybody else to kill him so that he doesn't get released back to where you live. That I thought that was a flawed thinking.
Oh, right, yeah.
Could you imagine if this was how Facebook Live where you can comment now and everything?
Yeah.
Can you imagine if it had been like that? They're streaming it and 12 million people are like, no, don't bring him back.
That'd be really funny.
All right, so
you monsters.
Side tangent. I did not know a couple of these were even WWE films. I guess they count this. They made that weird No Holds Barred movie in 1989. I don't even know what's about.
With Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah. So the next 3, no idea these were WWE films. Walking Tall.
I did know that.
I didn't know that. I mean, I love that movie.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
No, I tell you what, that might be the best one that WWE has ever put out.
Yeah. I mean, being that I didn't know that was one, it's up there. This one's up there for me. I think it's a pretty funny movie. The Rundown.
The Rundown's a good movie too. Yeah.
Apparently they had some kind of hand in the Scorpion King because it's listed here. I don't know what that is. Queens of the Ring, probably a wrestling movie, obviously. Pure Country, starring Willie Nelson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't know about his early wrestling career. Actually, Vince probably used to get stoned with him a lot.
That's a pretty recent one. It's 2017. They're not in any order, but Legendary, starring John Cena. I think that was his first. No, The Marine was his first movie.
That's right.
Which is also one of them on here. I've never heard of this one. Barricade, and the tagline is "Lock your doors." So
smart.
Team Life or Term Life with Vince Vaughn. So okay.
Vince Vaughn was in Fighting with My Family too.
I'm thinking that Fighting with My Family was probably one.
That you know what? That's another great one that they produced. Fighting with My Family.
Yeah, I like that one.
It's one of my favorite movies.
I mean, obviously a true story
that I saw last year.
So being like a WWE movie and being about fighting and things, I thought that the fight scenes in this movie were kind of some of them they were good, but the camera was always like,
It's very,
I couldn't fucking see.
It was very close up. It was moving very fast.
It was
shaking
almost
like crazy. Almost like they didn't choreograph it well enough, so they had to like do some fancy work with the camera to make it seem like it's better.
Yeah, it's like the Bourne stuff where it's like,
or like
that's
Taken,
how the Bourne is like the shaky stuff.
Yeah, like Taken, where it's filmed like 13 different angles just to get Liam Neeson to jump effects.
Like it was like, some of it was like really hard to tell what was going on.
Yeah. Or I think the thing I thought was hilarious is fast forward when he kills McStarley.
Yeah.
That was,
and the camera's like fixed on, like tracked way close up on his face, and it just goes boom, 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 and he's like bouncing around.
I have that, and not with the gunshots.
No.
Yeah, I have that in here. The revenge scene where he kills McStarley was so fucking bad.
It was bad.
Like he's like, yeah, like you said, he like the reactions weren't even in sync with the sounds. Like he's like jerking, and it's like not even like when the
which I don't know. I never shot nobody, but I mean, I would assume that you're going to react after being shot. So.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
But like they do a good thing, and I'll say this: any types of these action movies, if they're done well, and this one somewhat illustrated it for me. But like, two movies in particular in the past that I have watched were, and I don't know what it is. It's the action movies. You can see adrenaline pumping and everything. It's Olympus Has Fallen and Rambo Last Blood. When you have villains that are so unlikable and you're ready to kill them yourselves, I think it's so much better when the hero comes out and murders them because you're cheering them on. Like Rambo Last Blood, I was sitting on my bed like watching it, and I'm going like, holy shit! Like whenever he's like blowing the heads off people, and shit. Like I'm like, this is awesome. I had the same feeling because McStarley is a fuckhead.
Yeah, he's a monster.
When he is just murdering the innocent people who were sitting controlling the computers, and he just does not give a fuck.
Yeah.
And he's just killing them off, and like...
I wouldn't call them innocent. They're complicit with the producer guy.
They are, but it's not like they were just doing what he told them to do.
Yeah, but they seem kind of on board about it. That's one thing. Whenever what's his name, Goldman or whatever, whenever he got killed... I was like, I thought that he was going to make it out because he was one of the only two, like, voices of conscience.
Yeah.
Of, like, it was him and the girl. And I guess it's because he decided to side with him that they killed him. Yeah. I thought that was kind of shitty.
I totally forgot that he even died.
There's one line that, it's a classic action hero one-liner where he goes, seems like you had a pretty rough life. Good thing it's over, and he just fires like 8 shots into him. Like I don't know. I love those classic one-liners when they kill the dude. Like in Olympus Has Fallen, he tells the dude, the North Korean guy, he's like, when I find you, he's like, I'm gonna put my knife through your head. And then sure shit, like they're like rolling on the ground, like beating the shit out of each other, and he reaches for the knife, and I can remember going, yeah, and then he stabs it right through his temple, and I'm like, yes.
So I bought the first 2 of those. Like, are they good?
I haven't seen the second. I saw the third.
Okay.
I just watched the third on Netflix because Netflix only has the first and the third.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I was telling Sean about it. It's kind of funny. Like, Nick Nolte's just kind of this really old, like, they're in the forest trying to hide from these guys, and they're, like, maybe, like, 20 yards from the house, and they're, like, laying in the forest, and, like, these agents are coming in to, like, surround the camp, and he's like, Dad, he's like, don't move. And Nick Nolte's like, fuck him, and like hits a button and like blows up half the forest. And then he's like, I'm gonna go and get like ammunition or something. And he runs off, and like Nick Nolte's just like sitting there like brushing leaves and finding these other detonators, and he's going, fuck you, and like blowing up. Like, it's just hilarious.
All right.
They did a good job of making Stone Cold a likable character.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's not a criminal. Actually, he was set up by the government or what? Well, I don't know.
No, he got caught.
Yeah.
He was sent to El Salvador for basically to take down this drug ring or whatever.
And he did it, but then he got caught.
Yeah.
And I thought that whole plot with like the FBI agents or whatever was kind of lame.
Yeah, totally useless.
Yeah,
I actually forgot that even existed.
Every time that they cut back to that, or even sometimes with his girlfriend, I was just kind of like, okay. I even like on the island, whenever it was like the other criminals attacking each other. I was like, I don't care. Just go back to Stone Cold.
Also, I think that the FBI subplot should have been established at the beginning of the movie. Like they should have been like, hey, there's something like funky going on. Like these helicopters keep flying to this island. We don't know what's going on. Because like a plot like that should be established at the beginning of the movie, not halfway through.
By the way, another plot hole. So that's a part the FBI is trying to find out where this island is, but that reporter was on the island.
Oh, yeah.
She should know exactly.
She should know.
Yeah, they should be talking to her. Because then, after the thing is over, she puts forward that expose and she's like, maybe we're the condemned because 30 million people paid to watch all these people murder each other.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah, that's the message or whatever. But she was there. She should know exactly where it is.
I mean, the only way around that would be is if there was a shot of, like, they put a hood over her head.
And also,
some shit.
Also, we don't know how much time passed between the interview and when they finally got everyone to the island. If I'm Barbara Walters and I'm on this island,
she had enough...
I'm going back to the government or whoever and being like, hey, there's some shit going on this island you might want to investigate. And they're going to be like, oh, where's that? Well, here's the coordinates. Thanks for asking.
There was enough time, at least, that she was in a different studio showing the footage.
Yes.
Like
she was ready for the footage to air.
Yeah.
And no, I'll tell you what. That bitch is condemned. She sat back and watched this whole fucking thing unfold.
Yeah, she didn't go back and tell on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So really, her.
There's a lot of big plot holes we're finding in this one.
You know what?
You hear that, Vince?
I also thought of something. So, Stone Cold, what's his name? Jack
Riley.
Jack Riley.
That's his real name.
Yeah, Jack Conrad was
Conrad. Yeah.
Should really thank the movie crew. Because if it weren't for them, he'd never come back to America.
Right.
He'd still be stuck in that Salvadorian prison.
Well, they were all dead, so he couldn't thank them.
Well, that's true.
Well, yeah, but you get what I'm saying. Like,
the rest of them.
If it wasn't for him outshining that one guy, he would have never been brought on, and he would have never survived to make it home.
So the biggest thing that didn't happen, and why I realize how much I hate this end of this movie, is the fact that we don't even get the military showing up.
Yeah.
No.
Like, we don't get anything. It literally, after he kills Juggernaut, like, it just cuts away. And it shows
the Jeep driving
up the driveway, and
well, we don't need all that.
And then we get the best song from 2007.
Which, as I said, there is, like, everything else in that movie, I was like, this could have been shot, like, 2 years ago or something. Yeah. Till Nickelback comes on, and I was like, nope, 2007.
Yeah.
That dates that.
I liked it at the time. Like, I'd never go to that
song. So I thought about something else just now. So they had the ankle bracelets that would explode after 30 minutes. Not all of them. Well, 30 hours. Yeah, sorry, not 30 minutes. Not all of them died by the explosion. I'd say about half. Well, over half of them died by the explosion. But like the Japanese guy and Deathstroke, they were just dead. So they're just gonna blow up. They're gonna blow up, just like in the.
I would. They don't say this, but that one I feel like once they're X'd off, somehow it turns.
It deactivates.
Maybe, but that'd be funny. Like at the end of the 30 hours, you just hear like boom, 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 like all these explosions going off on the island.
So this line is really dumb and cheesy, but it still makes me laugh, and I guess I'll explain why. But the part where the movie producer or whatever he is interviewing Stone Cold's character.
Yeah.
What were you doing in El Salvador? I was working on my tan.
Yeah, that was funny.
Why'd you blow the building up? He was blocking my sun. Like, those are dumb. I think they're funny. But the next part, they were good, yeah. What do you do? What's your work or whatever? And he's like, I'm an interior decorator. The reason that part's funny, because I've watched so many Stone Cold documentaries and stuff, his mom's actually interior decorator. I don't know if it's connected, but that's why it makes me laugh, because I'm like,
It's one of his improv lines.
Yeah, I've often wondered if like he threw that in there and be like, here you go, Mom.
I thought that they were gonna try and go through the movie without Stone Cold killing anyone.
Yeah.
But then, because that's what he was. Well, I guess he did kill that one guy
wasn't
in self-defense.
Yeah.
But like at the end of the movie, he's really like hunting them down. But that's only because they killed Deathstroke.
Yeah.
Like he was buddy with him for a bit.
Because he freed him in the first place. He gave him the keys.
So it's like, I thought they were going to try and get through it without him. Or at least if he was killing him, it was self-defense.
Deathstroke and his wife, I feel like they're maybe wrongly accused and imprisoned. We don't ever find that out, but like their characters just don't seem like...
I mean, the only two characters that... Well, I guess... 4 characters that were like wanting to kill everyone. Well, the chick too. Was.
Oh, I thought you were including her in the 4.
Well, no, it was the German guy in the beginning.
McStarley.
Yeah, McStarley, the Japanese guy.
The chick.
The chick and the big guy that attacked Stone Cold.
Oh,
so half of them wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was basically Stone Cold and those.
And the other black guy.
Like, yeah, he was just
and the Mexican guy, he was a ferocious guy that got killed as soon as they dropped him. So over basically. Half of them, I guess. Yeah.
I forgot about that, yeah, they just dropped him.
But yeah, I mean, Deathstroke and his wife, I just don't get the vibe that they ever killed anybody, you know?
I thought his acting was kind of really bad.
Who? Manu Bennett?
Yeah, I thought he was like really bad, especially after they killed his wife.
I feel like acting isn't his first thing. Like, I feel like he was like a stuntman or something.
I think he was.
Yeah. Because, I mean, Deathstroke, he's wearing a mask the entire time almost.
No, I mean, he's good in the Arrow.
Yeah,
I think, especially, like, because he, like...
Oh, he's fantastic, I think.
Yeah.
In the Arrow. But that's also... Well, I guess it's not that far from here. 2007... That was 2012.
Yeah, 2012.
So 5 years. He had 5 years.
You improve yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Batista. He's, I mean, like he's so much better than he used to be. And not that he was ever really bad. I thought that his first stuff was good, but he's like really good now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Batista. That was great.
Yeah. That's pretty much all I had to say.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We can go with overall.
I'll go first.
Okay.
4 out of 10. Entertaining. It did its job.
Yeah.
There's a lot wrong with it.
Oh, yeah. I think that's pretty fair.
I mean, for an action movie, 4 out of 10 is being fair, because who aside from a couple of gems is rating an action movie higher than a 6? Action movies are pure entertainment. They're not meant to win Oscars. They're not meant to win special effects. Like
the writing's not.
They're solely for, I want to watch this wrestler kick this guy's ass. Yeah. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree. Except for how shaky Cam's was, that takes a few off, and I didn't really enjoy that. But I like the.
I mean, when you look at most action movies, that's kind of how they're shot. It's pretty.
It's a very.
Take a look at the John Wick films.
I'm still not rating a 7 at max.
I think that they're really good. But anyway,
I've only ever seen the first. Anyway.
Yeah, so the shaky cam's a bit. I like the dialogue for the most part. I thought that it was a pretty funny movie. Relatable characters. You hated who you were supposed to hate.
Right.
And
no, it does a great job at that.
I'd probably go 4 out of 10, maybe 3.5. 4. I'll go 4. 4 out of 10. I thought it was serviceable.
Yeah.
Good job.
Okay, so, yeah. So, I mean, I didn't like it, obviously, as much as I used to like it. Just because I've become such a fan of film anyway. Because back then, I mean, I didn't know, what was good, what was bad, or whatever. Not that really impacts what I like, I guess, but I look at things differently, obviously. I think I'm just going to make it all the way around thing, and I think I'm going to go 4. Just because there is so many.
Would you recommend it?
I would recommend it.
I mean, yeah.
It's worth. I mean, it's not even that terribly long.
No.
I mean,
no, you really don't feel the runtime.
If you want to sit down and watch a dumb action movie, it's that's good enough.
Yeah.
There are better ones, but that one's fine.
I used to kind of write it off that for not being like a great movie. I used to think, this was their first thing. Clearly it's not, from what we just found out. But
I think it's still one of their better ones.
yeah, there's a lot of
Gotta watch that Colin Farrell one, man.
I mean,
Wasn't there one where the Hulk Hogan was like an alien? I'm pretty sure there was something like that. He came from space. I remember watching that pretty frequently when I was younger.
He might have did that on the side. I don't think that's a
Yeah, I don't think that's
that
a
could be
WWE movie.
Here, I'll look it up.
So, I don't remember. Yeah, so there's definitely a lot worse. I mean, for goodness sakes, we got 6 Marine films now.
It's like the Tremors movies.
Suburban Commando.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
An interstellar hero from a distant world visits Earth.
Oh, my God.
That was just him branching out into acting in general.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
The only reason I know what that movie is
Nostalgia Critic reviewed it.
No, well, I mean, actually, I haven't seen that. Back when, when I was growing up, obviously, there's VHSs. Before I think it was the second Turtles movie, there was a commercial for Commando. And that's the only reason I'm like, hey, that's Hulk Hogan. Never watched it.
All right. Well, we have a recommendation
One
now.
thing left to do.
We do. I'm playing ping pong in my head right now between which one I want to.
I hope it's Godzilla and King Kong playing ping pong. King Kong playing ping pong.
It is not. I'm not throwing any more Godzillas into the mix just yet. Because there's not really a lot of great ones. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna do 2009's Tron Legacy.
Oh. I've never seen a single Tron anything.
It's okay. You don't have to watch the original Tron to watch this one.
Good.
I wouldn't make you watch the original Tron.
That bad, huh?
It's not great.
Do we need to, we won't have anything lost if we don't watch it?
No, they pretty much explain the stuff. I mean, they preface what's going on with like a little backstory. It's not even a backstory as to what all took place. It's just kind of a small, here's this guy and he was this and this guy was this and then that's it.
Okay.
I saw it before I watched the original Tron and I enjoyed it. It's not well regarded, but I think you guys will enjoy it a lot. And it's on Disney Plus, so we all can watch it.
There we go.
All right.
I tried to pick something that we all could watch separately, that we didn't have to dig up a Blu-ray or a DVD for.
Okay, well, there we go. If you don't want to be spoiled for Tron Legacy in our next episode, be sure to watch that because we will be having a spoiler discussion of it. Thanks again for listening and watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed our conversation about, the roadmap of superhero movies and where they have landed us now, and our discussion on The Condemned. Let us know what you thought about both those topics, and we'll see you next time. Later.
Bye.